Hi there, homespun friends. It is Sherry. I hope you are having a wonderful Friday. I wanted to come along and show you what my husband and I worked on yesterday. We had a crazy day off yesterday. We had a lot of plans, things that we wanted to get done, and most of it didn't get accomplished. And that's because the weather really worked against us. For those of you who live in the South, you know the great storms that we've had. We've had a lot of rain in the couple of weeks leading up to this point, but it's been warm. It's been really warm and pleasant. Well, yesterday it turned cold. I froze to death all day. It was in the low 50s. We had a wind warning with winds blowing 35 to 40 miles per hour. It just wasn't a great day to be outside at all. Tonight we have a freeze watch going on. I really pray it does not get down to freezing, but I can see already that some of my outdoor plants, because it got down in the 30s last night, towards the mid 30s, they don't look as good today, and I really hate that. It's tough when it gets to this time of year. It's really trying to be springtime. It's already been springtime, but then it's like you have those few days that it reverts back to winter. And tonight I will have to bring in my ferns. I will bring in my geranium. I'll probably just let my herbs stay outside. I hope that even though they're young and tender, I hope that they will live through it. My garden probably will not. I started the seeds and started those little plants from seed, and they are still very tender. And because they're in a raised bed garden, they're not down in the ground, they're more susceptible to cold temperatures. So I don't think that they will survive, and I talked to my husband about it. I was lamenting to him this morning about it, and he was like, well, honey, there's nothing we can do about the weather. But what we can do is if those plants die, the ones that you started from seed, we will just simply go to the garden center and buy the plants. We will buy the, more mature plants, put them in the ground. We'll have tomatoes, we'll have peppers, we'll have squash. Don't worry about it. But I do worry about it, because you hate to see something that you worked on be lost. So we'll just have to see what happens with that. But yesterday we did get a few things done. Now, one of the discussions that my husband and I have had since we've lived in this house has been, what are we going to do with the land that we have? We have about 8/10 of an acre here, and it's an odd-shaped lot. It's a triangle-shaped lot because we are between two roads. The edge of our lot is where two roads meet, and I will show you that as we go outside. And because of where we are, it's difficult to know exactly if you want to have fruit trees, where you might put them. The main thing we've been talking about lately is grapes, scuppernongs, and muscadines. Do we want to have them? If we do want to have some of them, what types do we want to grow? Where do we think they would live and do best? What kind of trellis system do we want to have? I mean, we've been talking about this for over a year. And so yesterday we just up and decided that we were going to go for it. We were just going to go for it. If we built a system we didn't like, we could always dig everything up and move it. But I kind of wanted it to be over near the crepe myrtle grove on that side of the yard. But my husband has worked so hard in our backyard. When we first moved here, I'll show you in a moment, you could not even see the golf course from behind our house. The trees were so thick you could not see through them. You also could not even see that our neighbors had a fence because those trees were so thick. And all of the trees overgrew the edge of the grass there, and all of that was dirt. All of that was dirt, because like it is when you go into the woods, there's very little thick grass growing in the woods because it's all just leaves and sticks and, the earth. And that's kind of how it was. And so now that he's cut a lot of those trees back, we're noticing that we have that beautiful southern red clay is showing through where no grass has been grown. We have one corner of our yard that he's pulled all the trees away from that. It was totally darkened at one time, but now it's getting some sun exposure, and there's no grass back there. That's where we decided in the end that we were going to put our scuppernongs. We haven't decided if we're going to have Concord grapes. I would love to have some seedless Concord grapes, but right here in the foothills of North Carolina, the muscadines and scuppernongs do the best. And we did have them at a previous house when we moved to this location. We've been here 15 years, but before that, for 4 years, we owned a house that had grapevines. We had both Concord grapes and scuppernongs, and I made juice and jelly and all kinds of things out of that fruit, and we really enjoyed it. We would just go out there and pick off the fruit and eat it, and our children liked that. We also would like to have some fruit trees. And so we started talking about that. Well, we've been talking about it for a while. But yesterday, in earnest, we started talking about where we would actually place those fruit trees. And we're thinking that the fruit trees would do best beyond the crepe myrtle grove because they take full sun all day long. And now we're talking about which varieties of fruit trees we would like to have. In the house before the last one that we had an orchard. And we loved the orchard. We had numerous apples, we had peaches, we had cherry trees. We loved it. We had pear trees. And so we got a lot of experience. When we had bought that house, for 4 years we lived there, and we would get I can't even tell you how many cherries that we would store and then we would give away. We gave our entire church free cherries one summer because of all the cherries that we got off that tree. So, we've had experience with this before. We know there's frustrations with having fruit trees. There's always the risk of pests and bugs and blight and mite and all these things that they get. So what we're hoping to do now is to select varieties that would be less likely to be infected with some kind of pest and that would be easy to take care of. So we're investigating that now. If you have experience in this area, let us know. We live in the foothills of North Carolina. Apple trees in North Carolina and in the western part are just very proficient. They just grow like crazy. But we are getting down more towards the Piedmont area. So anyway, we would not want necessarily a lot of trees. We're talking about maybe 3 apple trees and 2 cherry trees. That's what we've got it limited down to. So we're talking about 5 fruit trees, not something that would be, an overwhelming amount to worry about. But what we did yesterday, we had done a lot of talking about once we decide what kind of grapes or muscadines or scuppernongs we want to have, what kind of trellis do we want to put this on? And we had debated about building a wooden trellis, about just putting up like the clothesline type feature. We just weren't sure. But this past week in the ad for Aldi, they had rose and grape arbors for sale. I don't know if any of you that have Aldi saw those in the ad. They had the archway for $29.99. And you could buy 2 of the archways and make a 4-sided arbor. And that's what we decided to do. We bought 2 4-sided arbors, and it ended up costing us about $125. Let's see, is that right? 3 times 4 is 120. Well, it's probably about $115. And the reason I say that is I had a coupon, $5 off, came out in the paper. $5 off any Aldi purchase of $35 or more, 1 per household. So I was able to use that coupon. And when we went pricing the steel arbors, they were very simple. They were just very simple arbors, just up over, they were about $180, and they went up from there. The wooden ones were $350 to $400. We were like, whoa, we really just want something to hold up some muscadine vines. And so we went and purchased these. We put 1 of them together yesterday. It took us most of the afternoon to do it simply because we would have to come inside. The wind and the weather really worked against us. It was frustrating, but we got it up, and finally yesterday, late afternoon, we got it in the ground. I want to take you out there and let you see what we did. And so I hope the wind won't be too bad. I'm going to take you with me. I'm going to turn you around so you can see where we're going. Now, don't be too harsh on me on my kitchen because I worked outside so much yesterday. I really didn't get too much time to work on my kitchen, and I cooked breakfast this morning, got all the dishes up. But that little bag of popcorn that's sitting over there, I want you to know that I gave some of my popcorn away to a couple of my friends. So that $20 popcorn ended up being a gift, and I really enjoyed giving it away more than I enjoyed eating it. When I think about it being a gift, it's exciting. Okay, so I'm going to take you out here. This is the garage area or the carport area where we work to build the arch. Now this is the other 4-sided arch that we have to build, and in order to build a 4-sided arch you need 2 separate garden arches, and I'll show you a picture on the back if I can come around here. Here is what it looks like when you build a 4-sided one like that right there. And so this is what we use from Aldi. Here are the 2 muscadines that are waiting to go in. Well, they're scuppernog. This is a scuppernong. I think the other one might be a muscadine. Let me look. No, it's a dark scuppernong. That's the dark scuppernong grape. I don't know if you can see that or not because of the light. And this one here is a fry scuppernong. But they are very pretty, and we're just waiting to get them in the ground, but we're not going to put them in yet. We're going to wait until this, threat of freezing temperatures happens. There's our crepe myrtle grove. As you can see, we cut them back vigorously. It is just beyond those to the stop sign where my husband is wanting to put our fruit trees. He would like to put them kind of on that side of the yard here in this area. Right here. Trying to let me see what I'm doing. And just 5 trees would probably go over that spot really, really well. They take full sun almost all day long, and that's what would be very helpful for them. Now in this area is where my husband has been working so hard. Through here you absolutely could not see the golf course at all when we moved here 2.5 years ago. All of this was nothing but trees. Nothing but trees, and they overhung this pathway, and you almost could not walk through this section. It was so heavy with underbrush and things hanging down from the top. As you can see, we have a tree there, but it would just be hanging down in this area, and so you couldn't even see through. And so he's worked hard, and that's why we have so much dirt in this area right here and so many roots. He's been working to get those roots up as well, because all of this was trees all the way out to this far, and he's been cutting them back and thinning them out. And they're over there working on the golf course today. It looks like they're doing some cutting, but it's awfully wet. And so anyway, here are my herbs that I planted, guys. You can see that they are doing really well, and I hope that they'll do well tonight if it does get super cold. I had wanted to fill up this basket with flowers, and last week I had gone to Lowe's to do that, and I ended up not doing it, and I'm so glad that I didn't, because I would have to try to bring that whole thing inside tonight, and I don't want to do that. Here are my other ones. But let's walk out here to this section. Now out in here where you see the dirt, these were all trees that my husband has pulled up and cut back. As you can see, there's a fence over there. That fence was not even visible. That was nothing but a huge thick section of trees that had overgrown, and they weren't great trees. They were scrubby. Some of them were really tall, but they were scrubby trees. And as you can see, we have this big dirt patch right here, and this is where all of the trees had grown up, and this was totally overshaded, and no grass was really growing here. We're getting a few little patches, but because this is going to be a tough area probably to get grass to go, we decided we would put our arbor here. And this is what we worked on building yesterday. It's really pretty. I think when we get our scuppernongs on it, we will be really pleased. Here's how the top looks. I love the little birds that it has up there. Those little birds are cute, and it's open in the middle. And the sunlight, I'm going to turn you around so you can see, we have some big trees right here, but the sunlight comes through, especially in the latter part of the day. Now, it is still early right now. It is mid-morning maybe, if it's even that. So once the noonday sun comes out, it's going to come up in this spot right here, and it is going to be beating down right on top of these muscadines, and I think that will be the best kind of light for them. But at one time there was no light back here at all whatsoever, and nothing would grow here. So we're going to see what happens. We've had several people tell us this is a good spot. If it ends up not being a good spot, then we'll just have to move this. But we're going to build another one. We're going to build another one and put it right here beside of it in this spot. And it will also get sun once, I'll show you, looking up, when the noonday sun comes, and in the afternoon it'll come down on this spot right here. And so we are hoping that we will be able to build the other arbor, the 4-way arbor, and plant some more. And we're deciding, we've been questioning, do we put Concord grapes out here? I'd love to have some sweet seedless Concord grapes, but they don't do as much. They don't produce as much in our area. The muscadines and scuppernongs do best. So we may end up putting more of those on. We still are deciding that for that second arbor, what we're going to do. But that's what we did yesterday. It's a little bit better out here today than it was yesterday. And here's our home from the back side. You can see my little raised bed gardens down there. But this is what we are working with. I'm going to take you around and let you guys see my what am I trying to say, y'all? I want to say gardenia, but that's not it. It's a geranium. Lord have mercy, I've lost my mind. Okay, look at all these water-filled buckets. And they have holes drilled in the bottom of them, but they just can't drain fast enough. We're going to have to get rid of those because they'll draw mosquitoes. But here is my really pretty geranium that was gorgeous at one time, but look how, let me get out of the way so you can see it in the light. Look how the weather has really affected it. I mean, it really has. And so tonight I will have to take this inside. It's pretty heavy. It's pretty heavy in this pot, but my husband says he can do it. He can get it inside for me. So there you have it, friends. That's what's going on at my house. We are wanting springtime to come. We really are. I'm going to probably lose my garden. I'm sad. Here is the assortment. I'm going to do real life for y'all. Here's the assortment of things that we've got on my outdoor cabinet. I've got, my husband bought this. Where did he get that? At Sam's, I think. He said that we thought we needed this, so we haven't had a chance to use it yet because it's rained all the time. You don't need to use the water hose when it's always raining. The little flag that's normally out there by my geranium, it blew off in the middle of my yard yesterday because the wind was so strong. So I just decided to bring it inside. Here are our gloves that we work with. Here's the scissors that we used yesterday to start cutting apart the little arbor tools. Here they are. See, we still have a little bit of stuff left in there. These are little tools that they actually gave you with the kit. So if you guys are considering getting one of those little arbors from Aldi, they are super nice, really nice. So anyway, we have been hard at work, and I'm going to take you back inside with me now. And we will just see what this day brings. Now my plan today is to, I'm probably going to run to CVS. And the reason that I say that is because they have a lot of deals going on at CVS right now where you can use double coupons. Like you can use a manufacturer's coupon and a CVS coupon. Let me turn you back around so I can see you. And so I'm hoping that if I go to CVS, I'll be able to get some deals. And one of the things they had was Tide. It was on sale for $5.94. I think there was a $2 coupon off in the paper, and maybe there was a $2 coupon off with CVS if you go to their little red box and print it off. And then if you buy enough of those products, you get $5 in extra care bucks back. So that's the way you really make the most out of your money. So I'm going to pull out my ad really quick. I'm going to read that and just see what kind of deals I can get and kind of use my day for those purposes. And then I'm also going to do some studying on having a Mary Heart and a Martha world. I'm still working ahead on that, and also doing my scripture writing. So I'm going to come back soon and have a scripture writing update for you guys. I hope you all are enjoying your scripture writing because it's blessing my heart to do it. So that is what my day consists of. I hope you enjoy taking a little walk outside with me today. You can hear my voice is a little bit raspy still. The wind has blown so much pollen around. I think that's affecting all of us here in my area right now. What are you doing with your days? Are you getting outside and working yet, or is it still too cold? Do you have a garden? What are you going to put in there? When are you going to put your flowers out? I would really be curious to know. Thank you, friends, for spending so much time with me. You come and spend time with me every time I'm here. I appreciate you visiting, letting me come into your home, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye.